You watch one of our colleagues every night on News Nation, but what it took for veteran journalist Leland Vittert to sit in that anchor chair is nothing short of amazing. Leland went from being nonverbal and diagnosed with autism as a young boy to asking some of the most hard-hitting questions, and he did it with the help of his father. He writes about it in his new book, Born Lucky, A Dedicated Father, A Grateful Son, and My Journey with Autism. And he joins me now. Welcome to the show, Leland.
Thank you, Maggie. You get extra credit points. You're one of the only interviews I've done that's actually read the whole book, so thank you.
I finished it last night, and Leland, I have to tell you, this was the most moving, beautiful book I've read. I couldn't put it down. I also felt like I learned something about myself through it, and I connected with you so much. I took notes. It meant so much to me. I want to start. I think it's interesting. No one talked about your diagnosis. Your parents didn't want to. You didn't. Why now? Why did you decide to let everyone know about your diagnosis, that you have autism?
Yeah, you're right. My parents didn't tell anybody. No teachers, no therapists, no principals. They didn't tell my sister. They didn't tell me until I had grown up that in the mid-1980s, I was diagnosed with what we now know to be autism, right? Because they're in this psychology testing center. No parent wants to hear their kid needs to be evaluated, but they took me and they're sitting in there, that medical waiting room. We've all been there, old chairs, stale coffee, magazines. The psychologist comes out and says, we're not really sure what is going on inside his head. It's very difficult to understand. So you think about a parent hearing that, and my dad goes, is there anything we can do? Anything? And the woman goes, generally not. So they are now hopeless, as so many parents are when they get a diagnosis. Doesn't have to be autism, right? ADHD, anxiety, bullying at school, whatever it is. And this book is to provide hope, real hope, to every parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, friend of a kid who is struggling, that they can make an enormous difference.
Yeah. And I love one thing that really stuck out to me. You write, it wasn't a journey to independence, it was a journey to belonging. And how your father worked with you, it stuck out to me, his watch, how he would take you out and tap on his watch when you were talking maybe too much, and those cues and social cues. I mean, he dedicated his life to working with you. And so you dedicate this book to your father, and it truly is a love letter to your father. And one moment where you were calling him on the phone and you said, Dad, you're my best friend, you're my only friend. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with your dad.
Look, yes, my best friend, and for a long time, my only friend, right? When I was 5 or 6, it was very clear I was repellent to kids. People like Maggie attract friends like a magnet. I repelled them. If a kid would touch me in line or at school, I'd turn around and hit him because I just didn't understand any kind of social interaction in any way. So rather than try to adapt the world to me, which is still very much in vogue at times, my dad decided he was going to work to adapt me to the world. And you brought up the watch story. So he would take me out. I couldn't really be around people my own age, but I could be around adults because they would listen to me talk and they were more understanding. And they could talk about things I like to talk about because I was friends with my dad. So I would talk about politics and news and everything else. But let's say we're out to lunch with Maggie. And I would instantly start peppering you with questions, right? What time do you get up in the morning, and who writes your scripts, and how do you pick your guests, and how do you pick your stories, and on and on and on. And my dad would tap his watch. So he would never openly scold me or make me feel like I was doing anything wrong, but he would tap his watch, and that meant stop talking. So I would stop talking, and then I would kind of bookmark that. So now we're driving home from lunch. And he'd go, okay, so when Maggie was talking about what she and her husband were going to do this weekend, and you interrupted about how she picks her stories at work, why did you think that was the right time to do that? What questions could you have asked Maggie about her husband? And it was the teaching of the really basic social interaction and human equation that came very easily to him, comes very easily to my wife, and did not come very easily to me. So that is part of the lessons of Born Lucky.
Also, how he waited for you at 4:20 every day because it was like you were going to battle. And the bullying. I mean, it's just so beautiful. I encourage everyone to read this. It's so touching. And even how you were bullied in the newsroom just a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
middle
that
school
happened to me, I think we all can relate.
Well, middle school is great training for a newsroom.
It is.
Yeah, a Washington newsroom too. And look, there's those stories that in the book. I think that the fact that my dad waited every day means so much. And, think about 8th grade where I'm in art class. None of us were going to be Picasso, right? And some art teacher didn't like my painting. And he said in front of the entire class, if my dog was as ugly as you, I would shave its rear end, didn't say rear end, and make it walk backwards. So I come home completely humiliated after school. And I'm with my dad. And this was an every night occurrence. So I'm crying. I'm totally broken. And my dad sort of piecing me back together every night that it's going to be okay and you can get through another day. And so he would leave me in my room. I'd go to sleep or have to do my homework. And he'd come downstairs. And I didn't know this until we started working on the book, but he'd come downstairs and sit in the living room himself and start crying. And my mom would come out 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and find him sitting there. And he never told me that. But the next morning he'd take me back to school. And the lesson is that you have to face adversity head on. And he would do that with me, and he held my hand through it rather than try to take the adversity away.
Jeez. What was your dad's reaction when he read the book?
Oh, boy. Well, the afterword is written by Dad.
Yeah.
And I had the unenviable task of being in the middle between George F. Will, the Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist who wrote the foreword, and my dad who wrote the afterword. So 240 pages in the middle was my job. But I think, what George captured in his words was the mountain-moving power of parental love. And this was really hard for my dad because my dad does not consider himself a hero in any way, shape, or form. And he won't be involved in any of the publicity around the book and doesn't want to do interviews. And I understand that because he says, I did what any parent would do. I just wanted to help my little boy. So I think he feels hopefully like it was worth it. But at the same time, also, I think he wants this to be about giving hope to other parents, not about himself.
Well, he did. And I learned so many lessons as a parent myself. And it's incredible. And I love how you ended the book. And I think you'd be an incredible father yourself.
Hey, if people want to know whether I want to have kids or not, I think they've got to buy the book. Everything else.
You got to read it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give it. I just wanted to tell you that. I'm so excited about this book. Like I said, I couldn't put it down. You've got to go through it. I mean, I cried. I smiled. I felt you so much. And I'm just so proud of you, and I admire you so much. And just how you got Lucky, the name, everything about it. It's just beautiful. I can't say enough about it. And I'm DVRing and gonna watch it too live. Tell us, first of all, you have a special coming up where you're going to be in the hot seat and interviewed even more. Tell me about that.
Well, so Maggie, no journalist likes to be a center of a story. I will be. Bill O'Reilly is going to flip it around. And I thought it was important to have another journalist really question this, like doing a special about yourself doesn't work. So Bill's going to be the journalist and really put some thumb screws to me on this story. And it's important because autism right now is really in the news. So that is on News Nation on Sunday night. DVR that, and you can buy the book on Amazon. As Maggie said, you'll laugh sometimes, you'll cry sometimes, but I think you'll take away that message of hope for every parent.
And quickly, for everybody watching out there that may feel like they don't belong or don't fit in, what would you say to them?
Look, there's two parts of this. And I think it's important to say my dad realized that he needed to adapt me to the world. This was not the idea of meet Lucky where he is and tell everyone how wonderful he is and everybody should just accept him. But at the same time, my dad told me every night the qualities and character that make you unpopular in middle school is what's going to make you successful later in life. So there were two things that were absolutely required in our house. One was character, which Maggie, from reading the book, you know where that came from, which was my grandfather. And two was hard work. And those two things you have complete control over. Anybody has complete control over in their life.
Well, I have to say, it was an honor to speak with you. And I watch you every night. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
And I'm cheering you on. So again, get the book, Born Lucky, and we are lucky to have you part of our Next Star family and News Nation. So thank you, my friend.
Appreciate you, Maggie.
I appreciate you too.